welcome to my channel. Um, if you're in the US, I hope you're having a good Memorial Day. I don't know if today's Memorial Day in other countries, like in Canada. I don't think so. I don't know. But I hope that you're having a good Memorial Day. Um, Ever since we moved from Utah, we don't really have any grave sites or anything that we visit because all my family's back in Utah. So there's I don't know, but we remember everybody. I remember my dad. He passed away in 2015 when I was in the army, and it's just like it's really surreal that he's not here anymore. Like, even though it's been a long time now. I mean, gosh, we're going on. My gosh, we're going on 8 years since my dad passed away, which just blows my mind. Like, in my mind, I always thought that he would just be there much longer than what he actually was. And I always pictured that I would be someone that would, grow old, and even into my um maybe 60s, 70s. Like, maybe he would still be there. Maybe not so much 70s, but like 60s at least. And no, I only have one um parent. Like all my grandparents they're all passed away. They're all passed away. The only surviving parent that I have is my mom, and that is it. And it really makes me sad. I don't know so much what happened on my mom's side of the family with her grandparents, or why they passed away. I'd have to talk to her sometime about it. But on my dad's side, it was pretty much all like health issues, except for my great grandma. She passed away of old age. I can't remember exactly how old she was, but she made it to her 90s, so she did pretty good. But on my dad's side, just a lot of like health issues, and so I'm trying myself to try and avoid some of those, if not all of them. Dang, there's only 13 people in here right now. I figure that probably a lot of people are doing stuff with family, having barbecues, visiting grave sites. So I guess that makes sense. Who all is here, and where are you from, if you don't mind me asking? Put it in the chat. I was wanting to have a little discussion about dreams, um, some updates. I just want to share some kind of like updates with me with dreaming since that last video that I did a few days ago. But maybe I'll have to push it off to another time. Siwa Miller is here. I'm a truck driver, so I'm in Nephi, Utah tonight. That's cool. The Nephi, Utah was always, I don't know, for me, it was always kind of like just like doing the drive from Salt Lake to Vegas. Like, Nephi was always just a part of the drive where I was just like, okay, I don't know, it just always like stuck out. Bruce K is west of Atlanta. Annabeth H, Boise, Idaho. Cool. Hope you guys are having a good day. Liz Stahl, St. George, Utah. Sunny. I think it probably would have been good to live in St. George. That's something that I played around with that idea, like early in our marriage. When I got my aircraft dispatcher license, there was the potential that I would go work at Sky West, which is based out of St. George. I like it down there. It's nice. Even so, though, I think I like Arizona just a little bit better as far as like um, climate goes, and the desert. but I still like St. George quite a bit. Mike Lewis, St. David, Arizona. Oh, there's Arizona. Took your advice and started writing down my dreams. Been dreaming about the chosen. Well, that's a good thing to dream about instead of having nightmares about this horrible world that we live in right now that just seems to get worse every single day. 23. I think I might wait just a little bit more, and then I'll get into the meat of this. Um, if you guys didn't see my video about dreams, I would recommend to write down your dreams. You know, write them down, make it a regular thing, because the Lord really does communicate through dreams. And there's other benefits to writing down your dreams as well. Um, in the video, I talked about lucid dreaming, and that's where in a dream you realize that you're dreaming, and then you have either some or you have total control of your actions in the dream. It's like you're awake in your dream, and I've only ever gotten just like barely to like a lucid state a few times, uh, including last night, which is what I want to talk about. But I don't know. I can't say this for sure, but I think one of the benefits is possibly just having a more rich dream life, a sleeping life, and I don't know if like in some kind of way that could help you receive more revelation potentially. I don't know, but I'm gonna try and see what happens. So if that ever happens, I'll let you know. Um, Leslie Stahl says St. George is a safe haven. There are a lot of people moving in from California and Nevada. Oh, that's great. What, like safe haven from the world? In what sense? C. Will Miller says safe haven, you say? And then Leslie says, yeah, so many members of the church moving here. Bruce K. Stress built up to a point where I couldn't dream anymore for about 15 years. Oh, man. That's no good. I'm really sorry about that. Um, I mean, if you can, like, if there's like other things going on, like if you have depression or anxiety or any sort of like mood disorder, then you may want to look into that to see if it can help you. Um, because like what I've had, for example, with my depression, is I have a lot of stress, you know, and uh, depression medications don't like make stress go away, but whenever I get stressed, it brings me down. I get kind of sad. But when I'm not on the right medication, like I get brought down. And now that I'm on the right medication, I get sad, but like it's manageable. I can like kind of like think through it and be more positive. But anyway, I'm glad that you're able to dream again. Phil and Malia waits. I've recently been dreaming the past few months, which is odd. I usually don't remember my dreams. I'm wondering if it's because I upped my anti-anxiety meds. Uh, that could be. It's really interesting that you, Phil and Malia Waits, and you, Bruce K, you're saying that like you're within recent history, your recent personal history, you're starting to dream. Maybe it's time to take advantage of that. Maybe maybe there's something that the Lord wants to tell you. I don't know. Bruce K, then my heart almost took me out and I had to have open heart surgery and the dreams came. Wow. Yeah, all I can recommend is take advantage of this opportunity to write down your dreams because who knows, maybe it'll go away again or I don't know, but just take advantage of it. Scotty AS3 or Scotty S3 says, I have a friend who was a dreamaholic, occasional dreamer here. Lots of my dreams lead to deja vu. Yeah, I know I know what you're talking about. Um, I get it. There's some stuff I could say about that, but maybe I'll save that for later. Feeling while you waits. I feel like you're right. God keeps hinting to me to also write down my dreams. Okay, well, now that we have 30 people here, it's been 10 minutes. This is what I want to share. Maybe it'll inspire you. I don't know. Um, so if you missed that video, I did. I got switched over from escitalopram, which is one antidepressant, to bupropion, otherwise known as the brand name Wellbutrin. And one of the side effects is that it, I don't know, I guess it induces more vivid dreams. And that certainly is the case for me. Uh, Maybe not so much like vivid in the sense of like visuals or anything like that. I don't feel like much of that has changed, but I feel like all of a sudden there's like a lot more details to my dreams, and more like emotion, like a lot more emotional things that hit me while I'm dreaming. So anyway, so I've decided to, write them down. I did a video. We talked about the fact that if you treat your personal revelation, whether it's through a dream or while you're awake, if you write it down, then the Lord knows that you take His communications seriously. If you haven't seen the video, go back and watch it, because I have all the sources and there's a lot of good things that are said. So I've been doing that, and I feel like every single dream that I've written down has had uh, personal and spiritual meaning to me and to Jenica. Like we share our dreams together. And one of the really weird things that happened, because like she just started doing this too, like we started like doing it together. One really weird thing that happened is on the same night, her and I, we had our dreams, we wrote them down, and then we read them to each other as we were driving. Like she would read mine and then read hers, and we talked about the dreams. We both had a dream about being in a fast food place and something significant happening in a fast food place, and then also being at a grocery store. Now, the reason why I'm pointing that out is because for me, usually when I dream, there's only like a handful of locations that I really dream. I'm a very like spatial kind of dreamer, like spatial in the sense of like settings. I have a lot of kind of like architectural type dreams, like cool places to be. So I'll usually dream about being like at an airport, a mall, a downtown area of some large city. Um, uh, okay, and then sometimes a house. Um, anyway, so there's certain places that I dream about specifically, certain locations that are just reoccurring, and never do I dream about being at a grocery store or a fast food place. And the day that I did, Jenica had her dream that had those same locations, and it's not really that typical for her either. So for us to have those same locations in our dreams on the same night was, I feel like, very unlikely and very odd. And it felt like our dreams actually went together pretty well, as far as like what was being communicated. So it was like a really amazing thing. And I don't know. I mean, it's recorded, and we're just gonna keep a record of our dreams and see what happens next. But it was like a really very interesting experience. So I just like feel all the more that they really are important dreams, or that you can really make a lot of use out of them, that the Lord can make use out of them. Um, Now, last night, like I was saying just a little while ago, I was able to actually reach a little bit of lucidity in a dream. I was like in I don't know what it was. I felt like maybe a truck. I wasn't driving, but it was like going down a freeway that went through like a major city, and I could see the cityscape. And the colors. Now, in this one instance, since I've taken the new medication, this one small little instance, uh, the dream that I was experiencing was visually vivid. Like the colors were like they were very bright and I don't know, just very saturated, I guess you could say. And the only other time that I've really experienced visually a dream like what I had last night, there's only been like two other times that I could name, and one was all the way back before my mission as I was trying to learn how to lucid dream. So I think I can't say for certain if it's because of the medication or if it's because I'm writing down my dreams. Because as you attempt to induce more lucid dreams, one of the techniques that you're supposed to do, like maybe the biggest one, is keeping a dream journal. Because if you become very familiar with your dreams, you start to really be able to distinguish, like, oh, this is what my dreams are like. I'm very familiar with my dreams, and so when you're actually dreaming, it might just kick in, and your whatever, I guess your conscious mind realizes, oh my gosh, I'm dreaming, and then therefore you enter a lucid state. So it's only been, I don't know, like maybe like a week, maybe a week and a half at most, since we've started recording our dreams, and this is already happening. Again, I obviously can't guarantee you the same results, and it could be because of the medication. I'm not sure, but it's very reminiscent of before my mission when I was trying to lucid dream. Um, and in this case, as that little lucid dream started, I started to become aware that I was dreaming, and I got excited, and I remember consciously like looking around, like, you know how with dreams usually it's more of like a movie. You're kind of like, it's like you're, watching a movie. You're not so much like actually choosing what you do. This one, there was like the distinct feeling of like me like looking around, and and then it's like that caused me to wake up. And I remember from a long time ago, as I looked into lucid dreaming, that you have to, like, obviously it takes practice, but if you do start to realize that you're lucid dreaming, you have to like somehow make sure you don't get too excited because it could wake you up. So that there's kind of like some skill. It requires some skill to remain asleep and to lengthen the dream and stuff like that. Okay, let's okay. Bruce K. I take heart meds, antidepressant, and sleep medication. I dream about 10 hours a night. Well, that's quite a bit. Seroqual is my sleep meds. I'm addicted to dreaming. Good. I have massive library of recurring dream locations, but different stories. Um, yeah, so that's like me. Uh, I a lot do the lucid dreaming, and have and have deal where you hear a voice or a noise. It has a name, but I don't remember what it's called. Okay, then Mike Lewis says grocery store and food storage. In this case, no. I felt like it was more the way that I interpreted it, without like giving too much away. Um, it felt more like the world, like how when we come here to this world, uh, in the grand scheme of things, it's quick. It's a fast experience. You come here. Um, it's not the most healthy experience for you, right? Because there's all sorts of toxic things here in the world. But you can get through it and you can survive. And the theme seemed to do with the idea of the brevity of our mortal experience. And yeah, in the grocery store, well, there's a whole lot to that. I can't really elaborate too much, but Donna Crimmins, Donna presently living in Frederick, Maryland, and doing genealogy while listening. Cool. That's a very good activity. The haystack just made it. C. Will Miller, lucid dreaming, the hallucinogenics of the righteous. Yeah, that's the interesting thing is this is a thing where you don't have to do something bad to your body in order to have an interesting experience. Like this is natural. And and some people like just naturally lucid dream. They don't use the techniques. In fact, uh my daughter, I don't know, maybe it was like about a couple years ago we were talking about dreaming, and that's where she told us that she just like normally, like pretty frequently, has lucid dreams with just like no effort, and she thought it was like normal with people, and I don't think it's normal with the vast majority of people. In fact, let's do just like a little poll if you don't mind. Put L, for lucid. Put L if lucid dreaming is kind of like a just a natural thing for you. It just kind of it tends to happen without you using in any techniques. Put a L, and then put, I don't know, put N for no, that it no, it's not a natural thing for you. The haystack. I dream a lot. Not on any medication. My favorite dream location is a mix of modern and ancient temple with water slides that takes me everywhere. That sounds really cool. That sounds really, really cool. I can like kind of like I can picture that in my mind. Um, and then he says like a water park. I hope the Millennium's like that. uh, Bruce K, your eyes, ears, smell, taste, and touch sensors are fact checkers. Stress will prevent you from shutting down all your fact. Okay, stress will prevent you from shutting all of your fact checkers, which prevent you from reaching a dream state of mind. Okay. Okay. So let's see. We have so far one, two, three, four L's. One, two, three no's, and then a K. I don't know what the K stands for, but maybe since K is next to L on the keyboard, right? Isn't it? Yeah, it is. I'm like imagining typing. Yeah, it's right next to it. So maybe Karina means L. Um, C. Will Miller. I wish I could share my dreams. You'd either think I'm narcissistically lying or crazy. C. Will Miller always like thinks that he's a I don't know. Maybe you are. I don't know. But it doesn't. Based on what I've learned, I don't know. It's not like I'm an expert, but uh, he says I am. Well, maybe you're something similar to a narcissist because there's different. Uh, not well. There's similar personality disorders to narcissism. Sometimes, for example, people, and I'm not saying that you are, but some people will misdiagnose a narcissistic person or an autistic person as narcissistic, as a narcissist. So sometimes there can be confusion with different things. Um, that's like a whole long discussion, but uh, let's see. Don't disclose too much, C. Will Miller. Let's use a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Never act on it though, and that's the key. Please never do that. Scotty S3. How neat for others to dream of temples. Fun fact and a topic for another time. But went to Saratoga Springs Temple open house recently, and Angel Moroni is facing west. Yeah, I think somebody had mentioned that before a while ago in some other video, but I remember hearing that before. A Goblin, who's also in St. George, by the way, says, glad I could catch you a live video from you. Happy Memorial Day to you. AKA New Jersey, or sorry, oops. AKA NJ, not from New Jersey. I don't have dreams anymore. Darn it. I wonder, okay, so we talked about stress. Bruce K was talking about stress and how that can inhibit your dreaming. I'm sure there's other things too. Maybe you might want to look into that, see if there's something that you can change in your life or do. Bruce K, I used to work at the Atlanta Temple, so I have many temple dreams. That's neat. I think from what I can just recall, just at the spare of the moment, I do remember having one temple dream of the Salt Lake Temple, and I'm sure that I had it when we were still in Utah. I feel like there's got to be other times that I've had temple dreams, but Gemalinda CJP says bupropion was the only antidepressant I could take years ago. Priesthood blessings, cognitive therapy, eliminating gluten, and passage of time made it so I no longer needed medication. That's good. Yeah, I've thought about the cognitive therapy. He actually, the last time I talked to him, he was like, do you want to do that? And I probably should, but I don't have time for it because of you, because of YouTube. Not just you. I have a lot of other things I have to attend to, but anyway, so she says cognitive therapy, eliminating gluten, and passage of time. Yeah, because I don't think depression necessarily lasts forever. In fact, I know that they say it's sometimes known as the common cold in the psychological world, and I know that there's different types of depression. I think there's I mean, obviously me, I've been dealing with it for years. So I don't know, but I haven't heard of depression lasting like your entire life, so that kind of makes sense to me. Goblin says, yeah, my wife and I went to the Saratoga Springs, Utah Temple open house. And yes, the Angel Moroni faces west. The Angel Moroni on the Red Cliffs, Utah Temple faces north. It's interesting. I wonder if they just, for some reason, that's not as important anymore. But at the same time, if you've seen some of my older videos, I've gone through the recent temples for the last few years, and if you look at the year 2018 and all the temples that were announced in that year, half of them toward the first half of the year, the renderings once they came out did have the Angel Moroni on top, but after that point, none. Now it's been a while since I did that video, but at that time there had been none since probably about the halfway point of 2018, since like maybe June or something like that. I'll have to like double check, but I don't think I've seen any recently that have the Angel Moroni. So it may just be because these last temples that have the Angel Moroni, maybe it's just they're not stressing that as much, and I don't know why, but anyway, the haystack, I gotta make a video of my last stream. I don't think It always has meaning, but it reflects what I am focused on. Yeah, I'm sure that not all of them have meaning. Um, I will say this though. Last night, I didn't have a very good night. I'm not sure why. It took me a long time to fall asleep. And then I woke up maybe like once or twice in the night, and then I woke up early. Like I fell asleep finally at 2 o'clock, and then I woke up at 9. So that's okay, like 7 hours of sleep. Um, but there were the couple interruptions. But anyway, so my dreams, there was a lot that I didn't remember. I tried, for the life of me, I tried to remember as much as I could, but I remembered very little. And I was tempted just be like, okay, so I don't have anything to really record. But then I was like, okay, no, I'm going to record what I can, even as little as it is. And this has happened a couple times where when I go over to the computer and I do like the microphone speech dictation, so I don't have to like think about writing it down. It's easier just like say it in the microphone. As I do that, I'm always amazed like how much detail is actually compressed in these little bits of dreams. Whereas like when I'm experiencing it and I just wake up, it's like, oh, that was like really nothing. But then as I actually write it down and put it on paper, there are a lot of details that kind of start to unfold as I record it. And then at that point, then it like I start to kind of see more clearly and realize, that's interesting and this is interesting and and let me tell you, the since I started recording my dreams, I don't know if like there's just been a big backlog of revelation that Heavenly Father's been wanting to give me and Jenica, because we haven't been recording our dreams, but it feels like almost every single dream has had significance, like spiritual significance. So I don't know. I would just recommend like write all your dreams down, even if you think that there's no meaning, because you may not really realize it until after the fact, after you put it down on paper and kind of think about it a little bit. Okay, Goblin, which make the video I made last year even that much more special. Phil Amalia waits. Off subject, my 5-year-old keeps telling us that when Jesus comes back, he will heal us. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I think we all are. I'm interested. I'm interested to see what that's going to entail. I think a lot of it's going to be if we're all worthy enough to move into the millennium, and I pray that you are. I pray that I am. I really think that being translated is going to take care of an entire host, maybe all physical problems. Maybe. Uh, it's still not really clear to me, and there's no information that I know of, if the millennial translation does that kind of like bring your body back into like its prime state. So in other words, if you're like President Nelson and you get translated, uh, does your body physically go back to its prime, like in it, the way that it appears, like in its 20s and 30s, for example, or is there still aging, like the body still ages, but there's a lack of disease and different issues. Um, but I think whatever the case, I think a lot of things will probably go away just from being translated, and then if you do come in contact with Christ and he's blessing people, then obviously he'll heal whatever he wants to, which he always seems like he's generous in healing people in the scriptures. C. Will Miller, I think society is twisted in how it condemns people for their natural weakness instead of providing support for them. I was okay, something happened to him as a child, and therefore it was inevitable. More, I don't know those words, but I also want to be careful what I repeat here, so I don't get in trouble. But people don't distinguish between and only know the one term. Yeah, like me, I have no idea what the difference is there. Yeah, we need to be understanding. We still need to, like, obviously not promote it and not say it's okay, but at the same time have understanding and provide support. Yeah. The haystack. Last night I woke up and typed Gihon Springs washing water. I don't know. I don't remember why. Not something I have studied or know much about. Yeah. So the Gihon Spring. If you haven't, like, really, I'm not talking about you, haystack. I'm sure you know what the Gihon Spring is. Um, but when it comes to the Temple Mount area, right there, basically in the city of David, you have the Gihon Spring, and my understanding is that it's the Gihon Spring that fills the pool of Siloam. So I've done some videos about the pool of Siloam. It's like when you're entering as a pilgrim, when you're entering Jerusalem from the south, there was like the south main, like, traveler's gate or whatever, and there was a big mikveh called the pool of Siloam, and I think it was fed, or it was filled up by the Gihon Spring. So that's a place that you would have stopped to, ritually wash yourself before going up to ascending to the Temple Mount. That's where Christ healed the blind man. And for the Feast of Tabernacles, they were supposed to go down to the Pool of Siloam, which would have been fed by the Gihon Spring, and get water from there for the water libation part of the temple, the Feast of Tabernacles observance at the temple. There was the water libation as well as the wine libation. Have like two, cups, special vessels that would help hold the two, and then they would pour it down the side of the altar outside where sacrifices are done. So I don't know. I just immediately think about the city of David. Because that's one of the excavations that's taking place. If you saw that video that I did with Jen Stevens, she brought this up. I also have a video I would highly recommend on my playlist called Recommended Videos, where there's this guy that he lives in Israel, and he does video tours of all these different places, and he got special access to an excavation that they're doing of the road that leads from the Pool of Siloam up to the Temple Mount. So they're excavating that. They're also excavating the Pool of Siloam, and the plans are they're gonna, like, bring it back to life. The Gihon Spring is gonna fill it up again at some point. So I would watch that video, because then you can actually see what it looks like and what they're doing. It's like things are being restored and coming back to life, literally. Becca underscore says, "Hey Jared," like that. Hi Becca. Bruce K, even being translated, you will taste death. That is true, but it's a different type of death, and I don't know exactly what the experience is like, other than how they describe it as being changed in the twinkling of an eye. So who knows what it actually looks or feels like. But yeah, Donna Crimmins, no, not much of a dreamer. Darn it. Bonnie Weston, do you think we will still eat animals during the millennium? I don't know. That's a good question, because when you read Isaiah, it really makes it seem that animals themselves will no longer be carnivorous or even omnivores. It seems like all animals of the animal kingdom become herbivores, and I don't know if the same thing would happen with us. you think about the word of wisdom and how it basically uh, says that the Lord would prefer that we don't eat animals except for in times of, um, you know, when there's not much food, like during the winter. I can't remember how it's worded. I'm not the best at remembering and then reciting things, but I wouldn't be surprised. And it's kind of a sad thought because I do love hamburgers and bacon and all these different types of meat, but chicken for sure. Um, but I don't think that we can say for sure. Not that I know of. I don't know that anyone has actually said for sure whether we will or wouldn't. But personally, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't eat animals anymore. But who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Goblin 2004, I posted a comment before the last one you read. You should go and read that comment. Then the last comment will make more sense. Oh, okay. The Angel Moroni on the Red Cliffs Utah temple looks like it was the last Angel Moroni to be placed on top of any temple. Oh, okay. And that's like your local temple down there. And then he says, which make the video I made last year even much more special. So check out his account, Goblin 2004, if you want to check that out. I'm sorry that I missed that. Sometimes it's hard to catch every comment in the chat. Gail Stout, no, haven't remembered my dreams for a long time. Let me say one thing about that. One thing that I remember they would advise you to do as you're trying to learn and induce lucid dreams, learn how to and then induce lucid dreams, is when you wake up, typically you'll well, I guess it depends on you as an individual, but I think most people probably just like get the day going. But if you take your time and you don't move around too much, and you kind of like stay in the same positions that you sleep, and just like take your time and not get your mind like all active, then it's easier to recall your dreams. Because that's like another big part of lucid dreaming is, like I said, keeping a journal, a dream journal. But if you're going to have like a quality dream journal, a lot of that's going to depend on how much of your dream you recall. So there's a lot of emphasis placed on recalling your dreams. And so if you kind of like lay in bed, just wake up slowly and then try different positions that you sleep in, the position that you sleep in could jog your memory as to what you dreamed that night. And I've experienced that myself. It really does help. Siwa Miller, I think all men suffer from being but refuse to admit it out of fear of being condemned for it. There are a few that don't, just like there are a few that are without guile. Siwa Miller, Bonnie, Jesus ate fish after his resurrection. That is true. A resurrected body is like able to still eat, but I don't know if that's still going to be in the program, because when Christ was resurrected, the millennium had not been brought in for the world yet. So I don't know if it would be like a worldwide mandate that we no longer eat meat. That's just one thing that we have to think about. Lois Leonard, your body will return to its optimal condition for sure and will be disease-free forever. You can't be held against your will and can move at the speed of thought. That's translation. I don't know about the moving at the speed of thought. I know that Jody Stoddard put that in her list of things, but I think that she compiled a list based on times when people had been transfigured and assumed that when you read in the scriptures and you hear of somebody being transfigured, that necessarily all the different things that a transfigured person experiences will carry over and be part of your translated existence, which I'm not so sure about that. Because I think sometimes you're translated and then taken to a certain place. So like in the case of Nephi, he was taken up to a high mountaintop, but I don't think it's because it's inherently part of you being transfigured or translated in the future. I think that's just part of how the story went, because he had to go somewhere to a special place to have this kind of communication. So, and then your body returning to its optimal condition, I sure would love to believe that, but I'll need some kind of source, something that says that that is in fact the case. I know that there won't be disease in pain during the millennium, but as far as like physically de-aging back to your like 30-year-old self or whatever, I'm not so sure about that, unless you have like a source that you can send me. Goblin 2004, I'm excited for the St. George, Utah Temple to have the public open house, 15th of September to the 11th of November. That's an interesting day, the 11th of November, because that's 11/11. It's Veterans Day.
That's our anniversary.
Let's not give out.
Right. Okay.
2023 to the rededication, the 10th of December, 2023. First artist 2NC3668 says, I have dreams / don't resent them. They're not real life, but warn or help me because I write them down. I also don't share them much anymore. This is okay. Yeah, I did a video, I don't know, within the last month or two, talking about how you really should keep your sacred experiences private. And when I say sacred experiences, I'm talking about like very personal things, including probably a lot of what messages that you receive in dreams, because just like a patriarchal blessing and how we keep that sacred, the message is meant for you. And if you share something that maybe you shouldn't, then it could give other people the wrong idea, or there's any number of things that could happen. So yeah, it's not only okay, it's something that you should keep guarded. Lois Leonard, terrestrial beings can eat, but don't have to, and after a while lose interest. That's what I've read. Yeah, because inherently, once you're resurrected, by definition, it's a body that's not going to die, and therefore it probably doesn't need food to keep going. It's at that point living by some other means. I don't think that we know the science behind that, but that would make sense. Justin Fennis, happy Memorial Day, Jay. Thanks for your service, buddy. Also, crazy video about polygamy, brother. Weird to think about the things that await. I mostly did it because there's that person that left that comment, and it was just like, it felt like it was very, I don't know. Doing this YouTube channel, I know that we're all on different levels. We have different understandings of things. We have different ways that we study and stuff like that. But there's like much more of a diversity of opinions and beliefs when it comes to these topics than I think that there should be, especially when they've specifically been talked about by church leaders. And so I'm hoping that I'm doing a service by bringing out those things that are maybe harder to find, to let you know, this has been talked about before. And we do know this about, plural marriage or the Antichrist or the 144,000, any number of topics. And I just want to dispel confusion. So, but yeah, it was a crazy video. Bonnie Weston, and thank you for thanking me for my service. I appreciate that. Bonnie Weston, thank you so much for these discussions. When it is said When it is said man will live to the age of a tree, is the age of a tree 72 or 90? Um, according to Bruce R. McConkie, who said that it's according to Isaiah, the age of a tree is 100, is what Bruce R. McConkie said. And I think I've seen in other places that going from translated to resurrected happens at 100 years old. I think I could find that out, get that nailed down. EC says L, so meaning that they just kind of like naturally lucid dream, which is really cool, and I'm really jealous of that. You ready to, or can I do a little bit more?
A little bit more.
Okay, just a little bit more, and then I gotta go. Becca _, sent you an email yesterday about astronomers observing a star exploding in another galaxy. Pretty cool. All right, I'll try and look at that. Like I said, I'm constantly getting a flow of emails, and I just have to kind of like pick out the ones that I feel are, so if I get to it, then I'll get to it. But I thank you for sending me that email. That's cool. Bruce K, several of the angel Moronis have been struck by lightning. Repair costs and member superstitions have led to the church moving away from using angel Moronis. Well, I could see that. I do think that it also has to go along with this theme of using the correct name of the church, really becoming very Christ-centered. Not that the church wasn't before, but like with changes in the temple, using the correct name of the church. We've talked about how the church has changed a lot of things, in my mind, to prepare for a large influx of people that join the church in the first part of the millennium. So the line of thinking goes like this: that if the angel Moroni is kind of a symbol of taking the gospel to the nations of the world and sharing the Book of Mormon and the harvest and all that stuff, well, if we're at the end of this part of the harvest before the second coming, then that kind of like old iconography maybe won't be as applicable as we move into the millennium. So there could be different things. As far as superstitions go, I know that us as a church, we're not immune from, myths and superstitions and stuff like that. So Bonnie says, thank you for the comment about Jesus eating fish. I forgot about that. Marie Wheeler, hello from northern Arizona. C. Wimler says, I shared your polygamy video with my wife. Fingers crossed she'll come around. She may want to talk to her first before she watches that, but okay, hopefully. Honey, what are your thoughts again about polygamy?
I'm eating, sorry. I think it's a beautiful thing. I can't wait and hope that other women join our family. I look at the idea of a celestial sisterhood. That could be something really special and amazing and something undescribable here on earth. And raising families together, and just as women need women in Relief Society, having more women in your family unit, the way you could work together and work with your husband, I think it's just amazing.
I think that, and I'm not trying to say that we have like a perfect marriage, but I feel like now at this point of our marriage, because we are going on I think 17 years this year, yeah, and I'm not so sure that we would have been so okay with it when we were younger, but like Jenica and I have gotten to know just like everything about each other. We communicate a lot. We love each other. We have basically Zion in our home and Zion in our marriage. And if we did, and I'm not saying that, just if it happens in the millennium, and through the authority of the church, if it does come back, we would love to do that, because it's just like having more kids. Not that the other wives would be a child, but it's like having more family, more friends. I wish I could have just unlimited brothers and sisters and cousins and grandmas and grandpas, kind of like Christ says in the New Testament, that essentially in heaven you will have many mothers, and it makes sense, because when you're with your resurrected righteous family members, and all the sealing stuff has been worked out, you have your final family, you're going to be able to go back to your mothers, going all the way back to Eve, Adam and Eve, your fathers, your mothers. You're going to have so many, and then cousins and all that stuff. And so we see it as like it'd be fun to have another friend, someone that we can like share everything with. I know that sounds really weird, but whatever. Do not take it as meaning that you should try and attempt plural marriage right now, because you should not, and you just wait for when the Lord brings it back, and then if you can't find anybody that wants to marry you, then you just have to deal with that. So, or if there's not anybody around. But I think that if you're at the right stage spiritually, and with maturity, that it would actually be a good thing. Just kind of like what Brigham Young said, that he saw a lot more harmony and less problems in plural marriages than monogamous marriages when it came to like obeying the gospel and stuff like that. So anyway, that's gonna be it, because we're at an hour now, and Jenica's back, and we got to do a couple more things, but thanks for spending part of your Memorial Day with me, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and then I'll have another video for you tomorrow. Talk to you later.
Bye. Bye.
There it is.